Hello, welcome back to Hanger 51. What's going on? How you guys doing tonight? What's up, Mike Bird? What's going on? How you doing, man? First in the room. Good to see you. Are you still moving down? So I guess I'll just start talking about what we're going to talk about. And see who... Hey, Philip, what's up? Good to see you, man. Oh, now they're coming in. Monday, you start your journey. Oh, yeah? And where does your journey taking you first? Yeah, I know they're zooming. That's okay. They wouldn't want to watch this anyway. I mean, it's 3D printing tonight. So, you're going to New York. Oh my God, why would you want to go there? EQ, what's up? How you doing, man? What are you going to do in New York? Yuck. So which of you guys have 3D printers? Any of you? Any of you been doing any 3D printing? Yeah, hopefully not get shot. Yeah, that's that's probably true. Yeah, Eric, you got trains. You can, you can 3D print train stuff. Yeah, all the cars that you've been, trying to track down, you can just make them. Just print your own. All right, I know all of you guys like me. Come on, hit the like button. Yeah. A short flight from where you are to New York? Yeah, probably. Probably less than an hour, I'm sure. No room for a printer. Jeff in Lower Alabama, what's up? All right, so some of you guys know, or maybe you know, that I started 3D printing like 7 years ago. But the printer I had back then was awesome. Today it's a piece of crap. I mean, totally a piece of crap. The technology has just, you've seen how much our RC planes have improved over the years. Oh my God, 3D printing is a whole new world now. So, oh, your battery died in your pod and they took out your camera? Oh, that sucks. So I had an Ender 3, which is it was a very inexpensive printer from Creality, and it was a So the CR10 was the Mac Daddy printer back then, and that was from Creality. And it was like $450, something like that. And that was a lot of money back then. And still a lot of money, but it was a real lot of money back then. And so I didn't want to spend that kind of money on a 3D printer. Well, they took their CR10 and took all the parts off of it, the motors, the extruder module, everything, and just shrunk it down and put it in this thing they called the Ender 3, and the price was like $149. And at $149, everybody bought a printer. Okay, you know, if you go on Marketplace or eBay, there's 1,000 Ender 3 printers for sale for like $20, $50, because nobody wants them anymore. Everybody's getting rid of their printers, so you can pick one up cheap because it's really not very good. So I did a lot of prints in the 7 years, but nothing was ever sellable. You know, not that I was going to try to turn it into a business or anything, but I was hoping to, you know, play around with it and make a little money. And everything was a fail. Everything that came off the printer was a fail. It was good enough to give away. You know, it's got a flaw in it. You know, so I give it away, you know, Christmas gifts and friends and stuff. And yeah, that worked. But nothing sellable. You know, today the printer I got now, everything's sellable. Everything that comes off the printer is perfect. And I had to do no work, almost zero work, to make it do that. You just download the file and you slice it, basically with the settings that come with, you know, you preset up the printer you have, and then the filament you're going to use, and then you download the file and just slice it and upload it. You know, put it in the printer and it prints. It's almost that quick. You know, there's nothing to do now. I mean, the printers are so smart, and they keep getting better every week. Literally, they're improving the slicers and the printers almost weekly now, and it just is so simple now. I mean, you still have fails, but rarely. And all of my fails have been self-inflicted. They were my fault. But you're still going to have... I did have one today that was weird. The printer just stopped, and I don't know why. And usually, it said there was an obstruction in the print area, but it wasn't the normal message. And usually when that happens, the print stops, and the extruder module parks itself over at home base away from the print. And it just sits there waiting for you to respond. Well, this one stopped right over the vase I was printing. It was like this. And it was about the same height as this. And it stopped right over it, and then it just oozed filament on top of the very edge here. And left a big knot, you know, because it got hard, and I couldn't cut it off, I couldn't break it, so it ruined it. So I had to start over again anyway. And it's been fine ever since. I've done like 3 or 4 prints, you know, but it was weird. It was just very strange, a fail. I've never had a fail like that. But most of the time, it just prints. I have had, the only fails I've had are by self-inflicted. And so that's what I'm going to kind of go over tonight. People are, you know, one of the print farm guys said that today in the print, in a video. He said, you know, people ask him all the time what to print, and he says, for me it was problem solving. You know, there were things that I needed and that weren't available, and so I decided that I was going to make my own, you know, fix for this issue, because he knew other people had the same issue. And so he started printing stuff that would solve problems for himself and others. And that's what he's been selling. And it's been going great so far, he said. And am I going to do planes at some point? Print planes? Yes. Actually, I've been so busy, guys. I mean, the apartment's been killing me. We're trailer shopping. We're buying a new house, and we've been, you know, haggling over price and size and layout, and the apartment's been going good. I'm really getting some done here, and yeah. So I just airplanes haven't been on the agenda at the moment, but there's an airplane I've been wanting for for 7 years. That's when I bought the Ender 3 7 years ago from 3D Labs. Has a 80 millimeter F-86 that's $40, and I can just download the file and start printing the airplane. And I was waiting for the right filament, and I think I've got 8 more rolls that shipped that I haven't opened yet. I got to look and see what that is. And but I want to make sure I have enough filament to do the entire job with one lot of filament, so that I don't have color changes and stuff. So I have to see what I've got. But I know I have some stuff. I'm not sure which color to go with. But yeah, I am gonna 3D print a F-86. It's gonna be my first airplane. Yeah, who's selling? You mean 3D printed, already done? Ready to go? They ship it to you built, printed. Is that right? What kind of price are we talking about? Yeah, the crash scale. Yeah, Robert. How you doing, man? Yeah. So that's the plan, and I'm probably going to get to that next week. This weekend, I want to get I'm at the point here where I'm ready to put the floor in of the upstairs of the hobby room here, and the floor in the living room area. And I'm going to have that wood delivered next week. And once that's delivered, and I can get everything in my garage upstairs above my head right now, things are going to start happening fast. And that's where I'm trying to get to, and we're right there. So I should have that section over there done tomorrow, and then I'm going to order the wood and have it delivered next week to finish this. And once I have the upstairs done, I'm going to be able to get so much stuff out of my way. So the biggest problem is all the crap I put in this garage is all in my way, and I have to, I want to work on this wall. I got to move everything from this wall over to this wall so I can work on that wall, and then I got to move it from that wall over to this. And it's just constantly, I spend more time moving everything around to get it out of my way than I do actually working on the garage. So now I'm at the point where I can finally put everything upstairs. And once it's upstairs, it's out of the way, and then I can just get busy. So that's where I'm at. We're really close here. I got the wall behind me done. I didn't run the electrical, but this particular wall is in the middle of the building. It's the only wall in the whole place that is in the middle of the building. So the opposite side is still open. So I can do all my wiring and everything on the other side of this wall and put the insulation in, and then I'll put the drywall on that side. So that's why I was able to finish this wall and have a real backdrop instead of my green screen, which I forgot to turn the lights on again tonight. Oh well. Yeah, I've got a bunch more lights I can light the background better, but not tonight. We're not going to worry about that tonight. So anyway, so that's where I'm at with that. So what I wanted to talk about tonight, and you guys probably don't care, but I'm going to talk about it so that people that want to watch the replay will get the gist of it. So that there's what you call infill, infill, and I'm going to use my Star Trek model as an example, so that you can see that this is all this in here, and I'm going to use my close-up camera here to demonstrate. So we're going to switch over to here, and all this checkerboard in here is what they call infill. And what that does is it gives the print structural. If you were printing this way, for instance, this top layer here would have nothing to print onto because gravity's always on, unless there was infill in here. Okay, so if it was hollow, none of this was in here, then this would just droop. You know, the printer would go across here, and it has nothing to print on, and it would just sag and it make a mess. So you need a certain amount of this, but you don't need this much. This is too much. But you need something in there, but not quite that much. That's 15%. That's the standard. And for most prints, that's way too much. But that's the infill. Now the other thing they have is what they call support. So this particular thing, if I was printing it in this position, okay, this under here would need support because it would have nothing. You know, the print starts from the bottom and starts working up. So this would print okay. But then when it got up to here, you know, there's nothing for this to hold it up. So the print would go out and it would just droop and sag. And so you need something under here to hold this up. And that's the support. Now that's if you were printing in this position. And then that, when it's done, you break that away. You know, you break all that off, and it's waste. But there's a lot of filament waste, and nobody hates wasting filament more than me. I hate wasting filament. So I don't like to use supports, and when I do use them, I make sure I use them the minimum I can. Okay, so there's a piece over here I got to get that demonstrates some more of the support and the wrong way to use it. Now, the Star Trek model came they wanted you to print it upside down. So they wanted it printed this way. Okay? So in this position, the only thing that's touching the bed, the build bed, is this tiny little, not that big egg here, but the little tiny circle. That's the only thing that's touching the plate. Everything else is this. This is all support. This is the start of support. Okay, so it's going to print all of this, and it's going to keep printing it until it hits this, you know. So it's just going to keep printing all this filament here and all this filament here till it hits here, and then it's going to have to go, you know, all the way up till it hits the bottom of the cell here, and, you know, and in the back here, all of this is going to, you know, have to be filled up with, you know, until it can, you know, so this can print on top of, and it's a huge waste. I think, I forget exactly, but I think the amount of filament it was going to take was like 45% of the whole job. So that's almost half of the amount of filament you're going to use is going to be thrown away, and that's not acceptable. So I flipped it over and tried to print it this way, and I sliced it to see what it would say, you know, and it's the same thing but worse. Okay, so now I have to fill all, you know, it would be basically this again. Okay, and it would be filling it all up, you know, all of this would be filled up with. So that was 71% filament support. So more than half of the print was going to be thrown away. And I'm like, oh, that's not going to work. So I ended up trying it this way. All right, so I put it on the plate this way, and it was 13%. Okay, I like that. That works. All right, now we can print that, you know, 13%, you know, support, but I had a fail, and that was this. So what happened was, you know, 13 was just a little too, no, not this one, this one. 13 was just a little too much, too less. I needed a little bit more. So what happened was is that, and I'll show you what it looks like. It's this kind of stuff. It's the support that they were using. Okay, and it, you know, it was on the model like this. Okay, you know, touching the bottom of the saucer section here. Okay, and then it stopped right there. There wasn't enough to go farther, so the print failed. You know, because it got over here and there was nothing there to support it. So it's, you know, it failed and I had to stop the print. So I added a little more filament of this stuff, and I'm going to show you a different style also. But and I went to 14%, and then it worked, and we got to here. Okay, so now it printed all the way up to this part of the Enterprise, you know, all the way up, past halfway up the saucer section. So it was doing great. And then I ran out of filament. The spool emptied, and I didn't catch it. Now, the printer itself has provision to fix that. It's not a problem. You just reload more filament and tell it to continue. So I did, but I didn't load the filament correctly, and it started printing, but it wasn't printing with the filament wasn't feeding, and then again, and then I ran it. It never printed the first 2 layers, and then I did get it loaded, but then it started just, we were already too far away from here to get it to stick, and so another fail, but my fault, okay? And then but the 14% was enough, and then it printed the whole thing perfectly. And there's the finished print. So it took 3 times the charm, So that was that deal, okay? So then I did a car, and I, trying again not to waste too much filament. So I printed this Dodge Hellcat, and the top of the surface here is not bad, but I'm going to try to make it better. I'm going to print it again, try to make it better. But you can print it with the wheels on, or you can print it with the wheels off. And I decided I wanted to print it with the wheels off because I knew I would have options. So, but I printed it in this position, and it was a lot of too much filament, support. And then I even tried upside down. That was worse. So then same thing. I did this again, and that was great. Very little support. It was printing great, but I also made this hollow, and that was my mistake. Because when it got to the grill, there was nothing inside to print the grill, which was this way. Anything vertical is fine. It'll print that beautifully, but when you get to the horizontals, if there's nothing there to lay it on, then it fails. So the grill is a total mess. The grill and the lights was a total wreck because I had it hollow. I didn't put anything in it. So that was my bad. Another fail. But and then I tried printing the wheels, and that was another fail because the way the wheel works, I had 4 of them on the bed this way. So it would print from the bottom up. It would print all the spokes and the rotor and everything. Well, the problem with that is that that's what it did. It put support in there that completely covered everything. And now you have to dig all that out. So I dug it all out, but it took hours and hours to dig all that out, and it ended up damaging all the spokes. So this really doesn't look very good. And in spite of that, it was the wrong size wheel. So I figured I'd hang on to these just in case I want to print a bigger car that would be big enough for these wheels, but probably not going to happen. So that was a fail. Then I printed a wheel, same thing again, but I tried to use less support, and again, it was, all the stringiness inside there failed. And I'm sitting there trying to dig it out, and it was just a horrible print, and it was too big anyway. It was close. It was almost right. It was just a little too big. So that didn't work. And I went by the size of the hole. Actually, that is the one that's right. This is the one that was no. I'll take it back. No, yeah, this one was too big, but it was really close. Okay, so then I printed another one, and that was the right size. So it's just a little smaller, and so I think the right way to do this one now is to print the wheel in this position. Okay, and have fill come up to hold the bottom of the tire here, and then the inside the bottom of the rotor there. And then from there on, everything will print normally without support, because the rotor, will be down flat against the support. And then from at the top of the rotor, there's nothing in between the rotor and the spokes, so it'll just print up, and then it'll hit the lowest part of the spoke is in the middle, and then it'll start printing that, and then it'll just spread out as it goes up, and it should be a perfect print in this position, this way. So we're going to try that next. But then I tried printing one with the wheels on it. Okay, and of course that's horrible. Okay, this looks terrible. The sides don't look too bad, and the grill looks good. We got a grill and headlights now, and the lower grill and the fog lights. So that all came out really good. But the top surface is crap, and I'm not sure. This has fill in it. This isn't hollow. It's got fill in it. But I think what I had to do here is run a much thinner layer, filament, a line layer. It had to be a lot thinner because this was almost all flat, but it kept printing. So then it started just over filament, and that's what all this is. It's just it's trying to print too much. So if I make the lines thinner, I think it'll fix that. But I think I'm going to go back to the straight up. And this is printed with the wheels on, so these don't roll. You can't take them off. They're just there. And then of course I had to dig all that crap out again from the side this time. Printed all that, and so it's all in there. And I gave up on trying to tear it out. I was tearing more spokes out than filament. So again, another fail. But the front and the back look pretty good on this one. Where the back on the other one is just, even the back is terrible on this one. So yeah. So we're gonna try. I'm gonna try it again, but I'm gonna stand it up again, and I'm gonna put infill. I'm gonna put fill in it this time. I'm not gonna print it hollow, and we're gonna see if that doesn't fix this issue. And we're gonna try that. So that's the next. We're gonna try next. Okay. But I like, and those supports were all done with this kind of support, which I hate. I don't like this support. This is, the Star Trek was done at this. This is way too much waste, okay? And it just doesn't work. So I didn't like that. So the kind of, I like the tree supports, which is this. Okay, so it's one tree, and then it just keeps branching out. You see the branches go out, and so what I printed for this was this. Okay, so we got a Velociraptor. Let me get a picture here. Yeah. So there's a Velociraptor. Okay, and so that was a real print. That was crazy. Okay, so now we're going to talk about what are we going to do. We want quality, but we don't want waste. So how are we going to do this? Okay, and so what I wanted was, I wanted it to print good, but I didn't want, so everything horizontal is going to get support. All right, so I'm going to switch cameras here. So what is the support here? All right. Well, everything from his chin here to the tip of the tail here all needs support under it, all the way across. Okay. Well, that's crazy. That's not going to work. And then it's even going to put support because his mouth is open, but it's still horizontal. So it's going to put support in here, all under his body here, the tail all the way back. It's going to put it's going to be a mess. So I didn't like that. So I tried this, lay it down this way. Well, same thing, front to back, but a lot less support, but we're still going to have support everywhere, and there's still going to be support in his mouth, and I don't want any support in his mouth. So this is how I printed it. Like this. Okay? So there's only 2 trees. Let me move this out of the way. All right, so it started with 2 trees for support, and the only thing touching the bed is his tail. So the tip of the tail is touching there, and there's a little bit of support going up the side of the tail here to support it up to here, and then it's going vertical. It doesn't need support. You just need a little support here, and then it printed the rest of the Velociraptor in this position. Okay, so that was the way to keep nothing in the mouth at all, nothing on any of these surfaces, just a little bit of contact under his armpit here. Right here, there's the back of his arm right here. That's the only place it's touching, is right there. Same thing on this side, under his arm, and then his elbow, and right here on this side, his elbow, and and then everything else basically is a little bit on his foot here, on the toenail there. And that's it. All that tree just goes up to put a little support here and there. So this was only like 13%. Again, very very little waste, because the trees are hollow. All right, so there's like no. It takes nothing to print that cylinder because it's hollow. It's a super super thin, hollow, structure. So there's very little filament being wasted. And I got a perfect print. This came out perfect, and that's how it comes off, just like that. So that was really cool too. And I'm gonna cut this loose here in a minute to show you how that comes apart. And I don't know if any of you guys have fish tanks, but can you imagine how much fun your fish are going to have when I break all this off and you have these trees that they can swim around? So you're not even going to waste, the support. You're gonna have trees to put in your fish tank, and way better ones than these, because I'm going to be very careful about the way I tear this one off. So that's how I had to print that to get the print I wanted, and that came out beautiful. Let me check the messages here. Did anybody ask any questions about this, or we just chit-chatting? Because I wasn't watching the messages. Well, Bill, what's up? Good to see you, man. So we got 11 in here. So all right. So the final print I'm going to show you is awesome. Waiting to see this, but I'm gonna cut this first because I want to save that for a minute because you guys are going to love it when I pull that out. It's going to be really cool. So let's see how I can get this off without messing it up this time. So I'm going to try to cut this here, here, and here, and here, and then here. Okay, and then we're going to come up here and get the ones on his nail. So I'm not going to get too crazy with this right now. We'll just get it cut off down here. And then here. Okay, so something else still stuck somewhere. Where is it? Got that. Maybe right here. Let me just cut this. Well, I'm missing something here because it's still secured to something. I don't know what. That's on the other tree. I guess it's right here. That's loose. That's loose. This is kind of... I already did that on this guy. I started to cut his leg. I mistaked it for the support tree, and I started cutting his leg off. I'm like, oh, wait, that's wrong. Don't do that. There we go. Okay, so there's one tree. I think we lost part of it, though, but there we go. Yeah, we lost... what did we lose? No, we got it all. Yeah, okay, and all this is on the other tree, so we're going to cut this here and here. And then up here. Here, and then same thing on his nail. We'll stay away from the nail part. And right in here, and here. And then in here. There you go. And there you got that tree. So now we got the two trees off for your fish tank. You know, fish will have a ball in that. And then we have it. There it is. Now, there's a bunch of cleanup that I'm not going to do right now. But that's pretty much it. That, you know, there she is. So that came out pretty good. Okay. And when you finally clean it up, this is what it looks like. So that was pretty good too. All right. So now we've got the two Velociraptors done, and now the grand finale. It's still in the printer. It just finished. Wait till you see this. I know you guys are gonna love this one. So let me pull this out. Wreck-em Roy, what's up? And I got some more different colors, and I've been doing a lot of updating on some of my files, and I'm really having a good time with this guy. Now, I don't spend a lot of time. You know, some of these prints take, like, for instance, this vase only takes about 2 hours. So it takes me minutes to set the file, plug it in, start the print, and I go work on the garage. Okay, and that one will take 2.5 hours to print. Okay, this one, because I did the fuzzy on it, it took almost 5 hours. So again, a few minutes to set it up, start the print, and then go work. I've been working in the garage all day today while this stuff's printing. So those two printed, and then the one that's in there now printed, which is what you're gonna. This is the one you guys are gonna love. This is a full scale, full size, ready to wear Iron Man mask. That's the real size. You know, and it's got the same thing. Got the tree supports for all the overhang, because of, you know, where the eyes are here, there would be nothing in there to hold this up so it wouldn't sag. So that's what the trees are for. So there's two trees on the inside just for the eyes, and then the overhang here, the eyebrow overhang, and then there's a little bit of filament at the bottom here, a little support at the very bottom. And but that's a full-size mask. My printer will print the whole helmet. I can print the whole helmet. So. Oh no, Robert! Do you know something I don't know? Am I dying? So it's very cheap. Okay, so a roll of filament. You know, I haven't paid more than. I buy all my stuff on sale. I'm not particular in color and stuff, so I don't have to have something particular. So I buy everything on sale. And I think the most I've paid for a roll of filament so far is $15. And a full roll of filament looks like this. Like this, okay? And this will print a lot of stuff. I mean a lot. Probably, I could probably print at least 10 of these vases with this. I'm trying to think what uses the most filament. Probably close to the same thing here. Maybe eight or 10 of the Star Treks. So you know, so you're looking at what, $1.50 if you can do 10 and it costs you, $15. So you divide 15 by 10. That's $1.50. So the vase cost me about $1.50. My time is pretty much free because I didn't. You don't spend any of your own time. The only thing you spend time with, and there is no support or anything on this. So how much time did I spend cutting off the Velociraptor loose? 10 minutes. So you got to figure in some time for, cleanup and, getting it ready to sell, and, tiny bit of electricity, and, so when you figure it all out, but yeah, you don't have a lot invested, in cost. And then, the whole thing comes, So now it's just being careful not to do any. I'm probably not going to damage the mask. The mask is pretty solid. You just pop it loose off of here. And I am going to clean this up. Where is my knife? That's what I need right now. I need my razor knife. Oh, this will work. I think this will work. Let me see if I can get underneath here. Well, maybe not. I really need my laser blade. I don't know what I did with it. What the happened? I was using it to clean up the bed over here. It's not here. It's not here. It would definitely make this easier if I knew where that was. I'm going to try this. It's a little scraper tool that comes with the printer. So I can get underneath here and probably push this off. There it is. Okay. So got that off. Okay, so now we're going to try to clean up all this in the eyes and stuff here, and see how well this goes. Yeah, I stumbled onto this, and I was like, wow, that'd be cool. And then because I was watching a video today, and they were talking about printers that were capable of printing helmets. And I'm like, Well, I think mine will print a helmet, depending on what helmet I'm talking about here. And then I came across this helmet. And yeah, my printer can print the whole helmet. So, but I wanted to start with the mask. But I'm going to print the whole helmet. I have some red filament to do the rest of the helmet, but I don't think it's the red I want to use. So I got to look. I have 8 more rolls in the house, and there might be some good red in there. So we're going to find out. So what I like about the tree supports is they usually break off pretty cleanly. Usually. Not always, but usually. There's a little piece right here that doesn't want to let go. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, come on. Come on. Yeah, there it goes. Okay, so you see this whole thing here was over here. I just got all that off. So that came off pretty clean. Let's get this eye out here. Got to pull that out from the back. Okay. Now let's see if I can get these to break loose. Yeah, there you go. Oh, beautiful. That just came off in a row. Perfect. Okay, so there's one eye now. So we still have a tree here and down the front, but this eye's completely clear. This whole side of the helmet's clear, except for the bottom here a little bit. So let me get rid of this. There it goes. Okay. Alright, so now that's clean. All this came off. Alright, let's get this other one on the eye. Let's see here. Let me cut this through here. Okay. Let's see if I can get this off of here. This is where I was having trouble before. And that little eyebrow there, it was really fighting me over here. Yeah, that one came off. Okay. Okay. All right. Good. Very good. All right. That's interesting. Is that wasn't attached on the other side? There, like that. Oh, weird. Perfect. And then this inside here, we're gonna pull the eye out of this one and we're home free. So if this one comes out like the other one did, we're great. There you go. Keep going. There we are. There you are. What do you think, guys? Pretty cool, huh? Yeah, that was a fun print. I got to tell you, I was really excited about this one. Yeah, that came out really well. That looks good. So now I got to print the rest of it in red for the helmet. So now there's just a tiny bit of cleanup here. So there's little pieces of stuff you just got to kind of pick off with your fingernail a little bit. And then there's down here at the bottom, there's two pieces I believe are not part of the helmet, but I'm not going to break them off because I'm not positive. So I'll leave them on there. We'll check that later. But yeah, it came out really good. That's a pretty cool print right there. Iron Man mask. Put it back. Put what back? What do you mean put it back? My brother's in the room, guys. What do you mean put it back? Put what back? What am I putting back? Put all the filament, put all the support back on? I ain't doing that. It was too hard to get it all off. I'm not gonna put it all back on. So I talked to my brother on the phone earlier, and I told him that he has to see what I'm gonna pull off tonight, and this is it. This is what I was teasing him about. This is pretty cool. I gotta say, guys, that's pretty cool. Jono, what's up? How you doing, man? Thank God I covered my face. Oh, put it back on. That's what the joke was. Put the mask back over my face. Got it. Yeah, pretty cool. I got to tell you guys, that was. I hadn't thought about printing that mask until I saw the helmet, and I still hadn't thought of it. You know, and then I don't know what, something just popped in my head. Hey, what about, you know, can I print the Iron Man mask? Is pretty small. You know, it hugs his head. You know, I wonder if I could print that. So I looked it up, and sure enough, It's my printer can print the entire helmet. And, you know, I have enough bed space to print the helmet. So this is one helmet that I can print. And so this is the gold face shield, and the rest of it. Oh, there's a lip piece on the bottom here, another piece of gold, and then the rest of it's all red except for where the eyes are. There's and they have a piece you print to put the LED lights in to light the eyes up. But I'm not sure what you would put in here to see out, but you wouldn't be able to see in. I'll have to look up what. I might some PETG clear filament might work for that. You know, it's translucent, so I might be able to kind of see out through it, but I don't know how good it would be. But yeah, that was pretty cool. So you see all the tree work that was holding that, you know, used to hold the eyes up and, you know, fill in all the areas that were going to be an issue. And then you just tear it all off, and here's the finished product. So, gremlin-free machine, absolutely, Juno. This thing is awesome. Everything that's come off of it's been perfect. You know, except for the stuff I screwed up. But the machine hasn't screwed up yet. Everything it prints is perfect. Just absolutely perfect. So I hadn't printed a spiral vase, one of these. And I'm going to show you on this camera. Let me switch cameras again. So I hadn't printed one of these yet in the fuzzy. You know, so you see how smooth and shiny this is here. So I did fuzzy on my Ender 3, the old printer, but I've never done one on this. I finally printed one of those. And it came out really crazy. Look at this nuts. I mean, holy mackerel. That is crazy, the way it printed that. So that's my first fuzzy spiral on the new printer. And that's just crazy. So this is the, on the other vase, you know, the fuzzy. And then, of course, this is the smooth, obviously. So, but yeah. So that was really cool. That was a different kind of print there, for sure. I hadn't seen one like that. So, yeah. So, pretty cool. Yeah, exactly, Mike. I don't know what I could put on here that would be see-through. You know, I know I can light the eyes up, but if I'm wearing this mask, I have to be able to see where I'm going. And if I put normal, you know, translucent, I won't be able to see. Light would come through. You know, I mean, I could see, you know, what a blind person could see. You know, I mean, I could see figures, but I mean, I wouldn't have any detail of any kind. So yeah, that would be pretty, you know, pretty bad. But yeah, that was a cool one there. I really enjoyed printing that. That was neat. So someone's at the door. Boss 223, what's up? How you doing, man? Who else did I miss? Did Wild Bill show up? Is he in here? I think I've said hi to everybody else. Let me look real quick. Yeah, I think I got everybody. If I didn't get you, raise your hand. Peace of Lexan, yeah. The problem is the mask is going to be very close to my face, okay? And you can't see his eyes through the mask. So I don't know how I'm going to be able to put something in here that I'm going to be able to see out, and people aren't going to be able to see in to see my eyes. I'm not sure how that's going to work. I mean, for display purposes, no problem. I can put something in here and light it up and just put it on the shelf back there, and it'll be fine. That's no problem. But But if I wanted to wear this, that's not going to work. I don't know what I would do to wear this. To just display it, no problem. I can put the helmet together, put lights in it, put some, probably some clear, even my, what would really look cool in here is my glow-in-the-dark filament, and then light it up. Of course, it would be glowing green, but it would look cool. So yeah, there's that, but yeah, I'm not sure how I would do that. I'll have to. I'm sure there's YouTube videos because I'm not the first guy to print an Iron Man mask, so we'll have to see what other people are doing, how they're handling that. Maybe they've got an idea I don't know about. But yeah, this came out really well. This is really nice. Very, very cool. Very, very Iron Man-ish. So, by the next time I do a video for you guys, I'll have the rest of the helmet printed. So, and it'll probably be on the shelf behind me, lit up. So, but yeah, that was pretty cool. That came out really good. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. So, but I think I'm going to print an airplane before I print the helmet. I think, because I'm not in any hurry for the helmet. I wasn't in a hurry for the mask just for the show tonight, but I'm not in a hurry for the helmet. So I'll probably the next thing I'll do is order the plane. I keep saying I'm going to order it, but I haven't gotten around to it yet. I've just been so damn busy. So yeah. So what else is going on? One-way mirror film. Yeah? That might work. Oh, yeah. It could print any of that. Propellers, probably not. And I'll tell you why. Because of the high speed that they're spinning at, I don't know that this stuff could handle, that kind of torque and rotation, RPM, but cowls and wheels and everything else, sure, no problem. That's all easy. We can print all that, but probably not a propeller. I don't know. Haven't tried that, but I haven't heard of anybody trying that. So I don't know if you could actually print a propeller. But everything else, yeah, wheel pants, cowls, wheels, yeah, that's all easy. No problem there. So, what's on sale at Hobby King? And Horizon and Hobby. Oh, that's true. Yesterday was release day. What's on sale at Horizon Hobby, Jeff? Read your link above. Yeah, you look that up. All right, I figured somebody'd have it. Like I said, I didn't invent this. I'm not the first one to print this mask, so I'm sure somebody has that figured out. I just didn't look. I didn't look it up. I got excited when I saw the helmet and said, I got to print that. I stopped right there, man. I don't need to look anywhere else. I'm just going to print that. I got to print the mask. I got to have that. That's awesome. I got I just happened to have the gold. I bought a lot of this gold. It was on sale really cheap. God, they had a great deal on this gold. This is very good filament. This is what they call silk PLA plus. So the plus means it's extra strong. The silk is this high shine, and it was just perfect. So I bought, and there was 4 rolls for $48. So that's $12 a roll. That's very cheap. Okay, So I bought 4 rolls, and I went through half of it pretty quick because I printed everything in gold. And so I bought 4 more. So those came last week, and I unboxed them tonight. So I was putting them all. They're all in the cabinets now. I'm trying to fill up the cabinets with all the filament that I bought. And but yeah, it. So the gold was perfect. I had it loaded in the machine, and I just as soon as this vase stopped, I yanked it out of there and started printing this. Because I wanted to get it done in time for the show. So yeah, worked out good. So yeah, this is really cool. I'm going to have to print another one of these. This one's going to have to be a showpiece, and I'll print one to wear. It's not. I didn't put any. I was in such a hurry. I didn't even bother to put any support in it or anything, which it really didn't need. But it is a little. You can press this in pretty easy. It's double walled, but I didn't put anything in between the walls, so it's kind of squishy, and I don't want to damage it. So I wouldn't wear this one. This one's perfect for displaying, but I wouldn't wear it because I'm afraid when I would, go to take it off and I'd crush it or something. So I'll print another one with fill in this time. I didn't even think about fill. Usually it does it automatically, but apparently it didn't on that one. Because when I watched it start printing, and it was printing it hollow, and I'm like, that's weird. I wonder why it's doing that. So, Keith needs a wrench. Yeah, I guess my brother needs a wrench. What the hell? He can't dance, so we'll give him a wrench. Alrighty, there you go, Keith. You got a wrench. Here you go. So I got this red copper in. That was one of the new colors that came in yesterday. It's supposed to turn red when it flips. And I don't know that I see red, but it's pretty cool. The dragon came out really cool. It looks really good. It's like the gold one. It's just super shiny, reflective. And I guess when I get it the right way, it turns really dark. I don't know if I'd call it red, but maybe. But it does turn very dark. But it's a good looking, nice filament. Very, very good quality. This is really nice. This yellow stuff I bought is not so good. I'm not crazy about this at all. I might send this stuff back because it's not very good. Bought 2 rolls of red and 2 rolls of yellow, and not really crazy about this. This is not very good. So I'm probably gonna send that back. I don't like it. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I printed that you haven't seen. Oh, I printed some. My ex-wife likes the color. What do they call it? Aqua. So I printed her these little frogs. I'll show you these. So, these cute little frogs. And if you look at the detail, there's pupils in there. Their eyes are slit up and down, and you can see the slit in the eyes. So if you wanted to paint the eyes, you could do that. All the details there. It's got its big, suction cup feet. This stuff's got some glitter in it, so if you look, you can see sparkles in the frog. So that's kind of cute. And then, look at the detail in this. You see how, I don't know that I'd call that red. Maybe, kind of. Yeah, it kind of looks red there a little bit, but yeah. So it turns dark, And then you can see the pupils in this guy's eyes, and the nostrils in his nose, the teeth. Look at the detail in the teeth. And there's a fang right here coming out. And there's no print lines. You don't see any print lines in it. And then all these scales on all the way back. And even his feet. You know, you can see in the bed of his nail here where his claw comes out. You know, right where the skin stops and the nail starts. Right here, you know, right there. So, and there's wrinkles in the skin, and then this articulates, so you can pose the legs. So there's 12 joints on the 4 legs, you know. So, and then there's 35 or 36 vertebrae. So that's 50 moving parts. Yeah. So yeah, pretty cool. And this not only feels like jewelry, but it looks like jewelry, especially the gold one. This thing is just sick crazy. It is so just shiny gold and reflective, and running it over your hand feels like a pearl necklace. You know, it's just really, really beautiful. So I printed her the frogs, and then I printed her a couple vases. So she's got a fuzzy vase and a fat twist vase and a thin twist vase and 3 frogs. So that should keep her busy. That should set her up. So, and then let's see, what else? Did I get anything else new in? No, I think the copper and the red copper and the aqua were the only new colors. So yeah, that's pretty much it for that. Yeah, you can sand this really well. Yeah. If you need to sand, sometimes, like I have one. It was right here. This old Ender, one of my prints on the Ender, which I hate this vase anyway because it's, it just doesn't look good. So what happened here? It was printing, and I had to leave the house, and I didn't want to leave the heater on. So what I did was I shut it down. I didn't shut it down. I turned the bed off and the extruder off, and paused. I didn't stop the print. I paused the print. Okay. And then when I came back, I started it back up. Well, let me do this. So you see the line here where it changed color? Yeah. Temperature. That's the only difference. The temperature changed when I came back in and started printing again. And there is a ridge right here. But right here, I sanded it out. Now the color change is still there, but this is smooth as a baby's butt right here. I sanded that edge. There's nothing here. So this is all smooth as a baby's butt, but the color change is still in there. You can still see that. So yeah, the stuff sands really easy. You can polish it up, make it smooth. So yeah, it does that real well. You can, but this was and this wasn't printed. I didn't know it at the time. Was learning. This is 7 years ago. This wasn't printed in vase mode. So it's got all this strings inside of it. That's all. That's supposed to be in there to make it strong. So if it's all, I broke it up as it was printing. But when those are stretched across the vase in all directions like that, when you try to push it squeeze it one way, the lines 90 degrees from it are holding it from bowing out. So it makes it very strong to have those strings in there. And then if I didn't stop the print, it was going to fill in the top. It would have just completely closed this off. I didn't know I didn't have it in vase mode. So this was a total failure. But and it down here, I don't think it would hold water. There's areas here that are like right here, definitely here. You see these slits right here and here. The water's going to pour right out of it. All these slits, yeah. So it wouldn't hold water. This is what I say a fail. You know, this kind of stuff is normal on my ender to have these kind of problems. So yeah, nothing was again, I could give that away. Somebody would but yeah, couldn't sell it. Not sellable. So. Learning curve, yeah, there's a learning curve, not as bad now though. I mean, it's this thing is so easy if you just don't get creative. Just download the file, and when you get your printer, you're going to set it up. It does a whole self-diagnostic on its own. You just tell it to, set up, and it goes through this long, iteration of spinning up and vibrating to find the right harmonic to stop vibrating, and does all kinds of crazy stuff. And then the slicer software, there's all kinds of them. Almost all of them are free, but there's one made by the same company that makes this printer, Creality. And I downloaded that and started using that software. And all you do there is you put in when you first sign into it what printer you have. So this is the Creality K1C. So they have a profile for that. So you just tell the software that you're going to be printing on a K1C, and it sets everything for you. It knows exactly what that printer wants for all the print, and it sets all that up for you. And then when you put the slicer software, when you put whatever it is, like this Dragon, it knows how much infill to put in it already, and it knows how much, if it should have a brim on it. This does print with a brim, and the brim is, I'll show you what a brim is. Okay, so all right, around the frog's foot here, you see that clear area all around? That's a brim. What that does is, because his feet are so tiny that it might not stick to the bed, So while in the middle of the print, it could come loose off the bed and you'd lose the print. So you put a brim on it, and that extends the contact surface on the bed all the way out. So there's no way that was coming off the bed. Now the whole thing is stuck to the bed. Where without that, only the center section here is touching, the edges here, and then their feet. And the feet are tiny. So that's all that's actually, but here the whole thing is one big, flat surface that's stuck to the bed. So the brim helps keep things from, and it usually knows whether or not to put the brim on or not. You can override it, but if you want, especially starting out, don't override nothing. Just let it do what it wants to do, because it gets it right pretty much every time. I haven't had any issue with anything it's wanted to do. I've been trying to manipulate it a little bit in my favor, like all this infill. This particular one I can easily cut that infill down. It doesn't need to be that. Probably 5% would be plenty on this particular piece. So the trick about I guess showing you on the Raptor would be the best one to show you. So what you want to do when you're doing infill and support, like I said, the thing I was trying to accomplish was to not have any infill in his mouth. I didn't want anything in here. So I made sure it only attached to the back of his head, back here. Okay, and I did that by putting him in this position, So his mouth was straight up, and the tail was touching, and then you saw all the trees that held it in place to print it in this position. So, orientation can make a big difference, on how, and the Star Trek model, they wanted it upside down, and then you were going to have this much support, all of this. And I ended up printing it on its back like this, and there was practically no support. It only had to put support down here at the bottom, right here. Okay, everything's vertical. Didn't need any support anywhere. All of this is all vertical, so it doesn't need any support here. So the only place that needed a little support, the NCC 1701 on the side of the stand here needed some support. So there was a piece of support came up to touch that, and then the saucer section out to about here. So the saucer section had a real thin of this kind of support, not the tree. This thin stuff, and it just ran that up from the bed up to here and touched that out to about here, and then it stopped, and there was no more support anywhere else on it, and it printed perfect, and then I changed it from 45% to 71% in this position to 13, and then 14. It failed at 13, but 14 worked. So 14% of waste versus 71% if it was like printing in that position, and 45 in that position. So, and the quality of the print was perfect in this position also. It made a better quality print, just like this was a better quality print, printing it the way I did. There definitely weren't going to get a better print out of it. Now, I thought about when I printed this, okay, I didn't touch it. I did it the way they wanted it. But I thought about laying the mask down this way, because I wouldn't have any support. I wouldn't need support around the eyes. I wouldn't need any support around here. But I would have needed support inside the mask. But it was on the inside of the mask, and all of that would break out. So I thought about printing it that way. But I think they wanted it printed this way on purpose so that the print lines were going across it instead of through it. Because if it was in this position, the lines would be this way. And then the top here might get funky. So printing it this way, where the lines are going across this way, made it a cleaner print. And I thought about it, and I decided, nah, I'm not going to screw with it. I'm going to print it the way they want it printed. So that's what I did. And it came out really good. This looks really good. Very, very nice. So, and the amount of filament loss was minor. There's practically nothing here. I mean, it looked like a lot, but it really isn't. There's hardly any waste here. This is very acceptable waste for that. So, not a problem. So, yeah. Wigs. How you doing? Yeah. Where's the prop balance? Let me see if I can balance blue here. Where's the hell is it? It's right on the table here somewhere. Yeah, we'll start sanding on blue. See if we can't balance her. Actually, she does need balanced. It's funny you say that, Wigs. That's hilarious. She's just a hair nose heavy. So I don't know if I could have sanded enough, because she's got skin. I'm going to be smoothing out her skin. So I don't know if that's a great idea, but it probably wouldn't have taken a whole lot of sanding to get it to balance. But instead, I just glued it to a lily pad. And actually, what that is the bottom of one of these vases. Okay, I printed the bottom and stopped the print, tore it off the bed, and glued her to it. But that's exactly what that is the bottom of one of these. So I printed that and stuck her to it. I had a bigger one. I was going to stick her to this one. So I was going to put her on this one, which is the bottom of this vase. But two things. One, this was only a 3-layer. That's 6. So this is pretty flimsy. And I didn't know. I don't think I liked it, that big. And I could always just stick it to that, So now it is that big. All I got to do is glue this to this. And now I have a bigger, So I could have done that too, but I decided to just go with that. And that worked. She stands up perfect now. She's a little rocky, but she ain't going to fall over. But yeah, what I need to do is I need to heat the bed up and set this back on the bed so that this will melt down flat. And then leave it on the bed, turn the bed off, let it cool down, and then it'll be perfectly flat, and then it won't rock around. It's not rocking on bad, but it rocks a little bit. Her feet aren't exactly even. They're just slightly off. Thank you, Jeff. Yeah, it ain't me. This printer's amazing. These things are gorgeous. This stuff comes out amazing. It's just beautiful. These new printers, and they're cheap. I mean, back in the day, when I started this nonsense, these things were, a good one was $1,000 and up. And there's still a couple of $1,000 ones, but this $400 one prints every bit as good as the $1,000 one. So, and this is a C, which stands for carbon fiber. So it's a K1C. So this can print carbon fiber, all that abrasive filament. It's got the nozzle is where the problem is. If it's just a solid brass nozzle, the abrasive filaments tear it up. They literally cut the brass as the filament goes through, and it starts widening the hole out, and then your prints are going to go away bad because the hole's too big. But this has got a hardened steel sleeve in it, so it can print that hard stuff. It won't hurt it. So and that this printer without, if you're not going to print any of that hard carbon fiber stuff, they have the K1 is the same printer without that nozzle, the hardened nozzle, and it's only like $389, I think. This is $599 normally. It's on sale right now for $549, but at Christmas I saw it as low as $372, but I think there was shipping involved on that one. But I got mine for $430. At Black Friday or Christmas. I didn't buy that till. I think I bought this on the 26th of December. I bought a Bamboo Lab one that got lost in the mail. I didn't get it, but I bought that one November 1st, and FedEx lost it. So, and it took till the 26th for Bamboo Labs to tell me that they're not going to do anything for a month or two because they have to research the problem. Says there's no research to do. FedEx already admitted that they screwed up. They're going to pay you. End of story. But they weren't going to send me a printer. So I canceled my order and bought another one. I bought a different one. So, and I love it. Love this printer. It does fantastic. I know the Bamboo would have too, but this one's cheaper. The Bamboo one was $600. So anyway, yeah. So that's my story. I'm sticking to it. I think, so again, the orientation of the product, and then when I printed her after I got her in this position, I started cutting the amount of percentage back, which kept pulling it back farther and farther off her head, and made the amount of the tree smaller and smaller. But I didn't go too far. I didn't want to go farther enough that I wouldn't have any support on the tail. So you had to find that balance. Not too much, but enough to still hold the tail. And I found that balance, and it came out perfect. So got the orientation right, got the and I definitely like using the trees, better than that straight stuff. This stuff, it doesn't stick to the bed very well because it's just a Z. Okay, it's just a Z going back and forth. And when I was printing Star Trek using this, the first one, this came unstuck from the bed. a couple of these broke loose and fell off. So I lost my support anyway. So even if I hadn't needed to go with a little more, it wouldn't have stayed. So I definitely like the trees better. I think this works better. Round is much stronger. You know, anything round is much stronger than something like this. So I just think the trees work out better. I didn't pick the trees on the helmet. That was the way that came. I just sliced it the way they had it set up. I didn't change any of the settings, and they had already set it up for the trees. So that's what they think the trees are better too. So no, the dinosaur doesn't have any wings. No, it's not a. Neither does the dragon, but they do make dragons with wings. I could get some dragons with wings. I didn't print one of those yet, but yeah, Steve, you can get a dragon with wings. I don't know if you can get a dinosaur with wings. Probably. Yeah, I'm sure if you go out and look for it, there's probably a dinosaur you can print that's got wings. You going to bed, Jeff? All right. Have a good night, man. Yeah, I'm going to get out of here too. It's getting pretty cold out here. Yeah, and so we're gonna shut this down pretty quick anyway. So, but I'm glad you guys came. Thanks for coming. You know, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons if you haven't. And I don't know. I'm hoping to print a plane soon. I'm gonna order that F-86 and print that. I'm just scared to do it, but I guess I just need to pull the trigger. You know, it's only $40. You know, and then I'll have to play with it probably to get it to print correctly, and not too heavy. So, but I'm going to go and do it. We're going to try printing a plane. That was the whole reason I got into this. 7 years ago, I wanted to print that very airplane, and I never bought it because I knew my Ender 3 would have never done it. So I didn't bother. But now I got a printer that'll do it. So I think we're going to go ahead and order it. We're gonna get that done. Yeah, I've printed wigs. I've printed over 50 things. You aren't seeing the half of it. I mean, I've got 2 Eiffel Towers, 2 Chrysler buildings, an Empire State Building, 3 Millennium Falcons. About 24 vases total. I mean, I've got so many of these vases that I've printed. Now here's one of the Millennium Falcons right here. And this is a beautiful print. Let me get this on the small camera so you can see look at the detail that's in this. Okay, all the vents and all the everything, even down the sides here where they have, this stuff, the shuttle bay, the detailing here is crazy. There's even, the cockpit areas detailed out. I think there's seats in there. Yeah, the seats are in there. There's nobody sitting in it, but, just amazing, all the detail on this. And this used almost no support because the guy had designed it so it wouldn't have to use support. He did several iterations of it before he was happy with. So it prints standing up like this. Okay, and the way everything is done, there's just only a little bit of support down here at the bottom, and that's it. The rest of it prints perfect and doesn't need the support. So the guns are there, the top and bottom. Here they are on the other side too. And then the radar dish is there. And yeah, just amazing, guys. So yeah, I've been printing a lot. It's been running nonstop basically since I got it. So you were looking at probably, I got it would be approaching 300 hours. I would say the printer's been running in the 2.5 weeks I've had it. I'm pretty close to probably 300 hours of print time on it already. So, all right, Philip. Have a great night. We'll see you later. No, Wookie's not in there. Neither's Hans. They're not in there. You know, I could print it bigger, you know, and then put them in there. You know, get the doll size ones and print this big enough to put them in there. So. Now, is that right? That's how he come up with this design. Was started with dishes, huh? That's pretty cute. Yeah. Got to start somewhere, right? Yeah. So. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything missing. Well, what you aren't seeing, Wiggs, are some of the other ones I've got. I've got a Dodge Hellcat here. You haven't seen that one. So let me change this. So yeah, I printed a Dodge Hellcat, but we got to perfect this because it didn't come out great. So, and it may never come out great. I just don't think the guy that did this one did a very good job. I don't think he put enough time in it to really make it nice. But anyway, it's okay, not bad. What else have I printed that you might not have seen? No, that's pretty much it. All these vases, a lot of vases, Eiffel Towers, Millennium Falcons, 2 different size Millennium Falcons, this big one and then a smaller one, and yeah, and then the Iron Man mask. You know, that was tonight. It just came off the printer when I started the show, so and that's pretty cool. That came out pretty cool. I like that. So, yeah. Yeah, it's missing 3 wheels. You're right. You know why? Because it came out so bad, I didn't want to keep printing wheels. I figured, why am I going to waste filament putting wheels on it? You know, it looks terrible. so I'm waiting to if I fix it or print a better one, then I'll print the rest of the wheels. But otherwise, I ain't going to bother. You know. Yeah, he's been printing a lot of RC truck bodies. Yeah, pretty cool. You know, I haven't. You know, I doubt seriously I'll be printing any. I'm just not into the surface that much. He's really into the surface now. I did the surface stuff for years. I was racing professionally. That's all these trophies behind me over here. Yeah. So I'm not going to spend any money on surface anymore. I've already spent enough money. I probably bought, you know, in crawlers and late model stuff. I've easily bought 30 new surface vehicles, and they're not going to buy anymore. I keep they're on sale, and I'm like, no, I don't even play with the ones I've got. I'm not buying anymore. So I stopped buying surface vehicles. You know. Yeah, oh yeah, they're cool stuff and they're fun. You know, especially if it's too windy to fly, or I always have a couple of them in the truck with me when I go flying, just in case, circumstances at the field aren't good enough to fly. Play with the surface stuff. So I always have that with me. But I just bought way too much of it, and I don't play with it enough. So, they had a buy one get one for the low C little buggies. So I bought those. I just every time I get a deal on something, I got to buy it. But I'm stopping on the surface. I'm not buying more surface. There's a couple of them that came out I really liked, but I didn't buy them, and I'm not going to buy them. I got to stop. I can't afford it, and I don't play with them anyway. So we're going to stop buying surface. So yeah, I was heavy in the surface for probably 10 years, racing all over the country, and but yeah, I'm over that now. So the trophies are not just RC car stuff, but there's RC plane stuff, real car, full scale drag racing, autocross. Yeah, there's a little bit of everything back there. But the most trophies I have are RC cars. No kidding, I've got over 300 RC car race trophies. We were racing 3 or 4 times a week. Around here, back in the 80s, there was a race every night of the week. And some nights, two or three races. So we had our pick. And we were going, because I had a race team and we were good. And we were going everywhere. I mean, we pretty much raced every night almost. And I did a lot of winning. So I got a lot of trophies. So, but these are some of my most worshipped ones. There's one more in the house that is real special, and but yeah. But the planes, my first love was the planes, and it's going to be my last love as well. Yeah, well, that's one of the things, especially cockpit detail wigs. A lot of guys got into the 3D printing that were RC people just so they could print cockpit detail. All the seats, the ejection seat, the stick, all the controls on the side panels, the instruments, the heads-up display. So that got really popular right away when the 3D printing got really popular. That got really popular, and I think Motion even has files that you can download at their website for some of the planes they sell. You can download the file and print your own interior for the plane. So yeah, you can get really creative, make some really cool stuff, no doubt about it. So, and then there's thousands and thousands and thousands of stuff to print on all these free websites. Everything you see here is free. I didn't pay for any of these files. The only file I'm going to pay for is that airplane that I'm going to buy. This stuff's all free. You can download it all you want. So, and then once you have the file, you can print it over and over and over again. So, yeah, I'm gonna call it, guys. I'm getting cold and running out of things to talk about. So let's call it. I thank all of you for coming. Thanks. We'll catch you next time. I don't know when I'm going to do another live one. Like I said, I'm really busy building the apartment, but I'll try to squeeze another one in soon. So you guys hang in there, and we'll catch you next time. All right. So have a great night. Good night, everybody.